welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And welcome back to another Who Knows What Wednesday, where we get to traumatize Connie this week.
I'm getting traumatized. I don't know what I'm getting traumatized by, but by the end of the episode, there will be character growth. Or diminution. We don't know. But
we shall see.
We'll see. But before we get to that, just a reminder to like, follow, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You can find us at all of our social medias linked below. You can catch us for our Who Knows What Wednesdays. And if you need something a little lighter, a little less traumatizing.
Arguably.
Good point.
Different type of trauma.
Cringe is more like it. Saturdays we do book reviews. Right now we are on book 4 of 4 for the Twilight series. And I can't apologize enough to Jess that I brought this series to us.
Yeah.
But it's a little different. Check it out.
All right. Well, are you ready for the trigger warnings?
The fact that you have to ask me if I'm ready for the trigger warnings has me concerned.
All right. So, trigger warnings for this episode: murder, exhumations, I'm saying keeping trinkets, and you guys can put 2 and 2 together. Cannibalism and necrophilia.
Why? Why necrophilia?
It's necrophilia, I learned, is kind of like a broad umbrella term.
Oh,
it's
great.
Not always doing stuff with bodies, because that has never been confirmed, but it's doing stuff with the dead bodies, doing specific stuff with but it doesn't have to be sexual.
Okay. Either way, there's a pattern coming in our Who Knows What Wednesdays. Granted, this is only the 3rd time I can recall us talking about necrophilia, but that is 3 times more than I could have used in my life.
3 times too many.
3 times too many.
Well, my hunch is that you've probably heard of this guy before, but I asked my partner what episode I should do for this week, and I gave him a couple of choices. He's like, that guy, because I know just enough about him that it's going to be interesting. And everybody that knows him says similar things.
Oh dear. And for reference, for those who don't know, Jess is a paramedic. Her partner was a paramedic. When a first responder has that deviousness in their voice saying, do that one, be concerned. These people have seen some stuff, okay?
Yeah. So, we were talking about Ed Gein.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you know just enough about him to be like, oh.
Yeah, nope, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't say head. Never. Let's just let her rip.
All right. So, Ed Gein was born on August 27th, 1906 in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Always Wisconsin. I'm just saying, don't they have something like the highest number of serial killers per capita?
Maybe we should look that up.
Considering they're our neighbors, we should know.
Alaska. Per capita, I guess.
Well,
yeah.
Either way. All right, I'll take it. So Ed Gein, born in
1906.
Wisconsin.
Yep. He was the second of 2 boys. His parents were George Gein and Augusta Gein. Ed essentially idolized Augusta. Idolized her. Augusta was a very religious woman and was known to preach frequently to her sons about the evils of drinking, as well as how she believed that all women were instruments of the devil. Yeah. Breaking out the red flags for a Wednesday episode. Oh boy.
I couldn't let that go.
Oh, you might want to keep it close.
Yeah. My knowledge is not in depth on this. It's been a minute.
Like I said, but it's enough to know. Ew.
Yes.
So every afternoon, Augusta would read the Bible to her 2 boys and would normally select verses from the Old Testament and Book of Revelation. These readings would often talk about death, murder, and divine retribution. George was a carpenter, tanner, and worked for the city's fire department and owned a grocery store. He ended up selling the business and moved him and his family to a 155-acre farm in Plainfield, Wisconsin. Growing up, Ed really only left the farm for school. He was known as being shy and would have weird mannerisms, like randomly laughing as if he was laughing at himself. It was said that Augusta would punish Ed if he ever tried to make friends. Despite this, Ed did very well in school. In April of 1940, George passed away from heart failure at age 66. Ed and Henry, his brother, started taking odd jobs around the town to cover cost of living, and they were known to be reliable and honest by the community. They mostly worked as handymen, and Ed would often babysit, as it seemed to be easier for him to relate to the children than adults. Yeah. Around the time of his father's passing, Henry started dating a divorced mother of two, and he was planning to move in with her. Henry also often expressed how he was worried about how attached Ed was to his mother, and he would speak ill of her. Ed would be shocked and hurt by what his brother would say. In 1944, Ed had been burning away some things on the property, sound like brush and whatever else. It got out of hand, and the fire department had to come put it out. When the fire was put out, Ed reported that Henry was missing. Henry was found dead later that night by a search party. He was laying face down and didn't appear to be injured. Henry appeared as if he had been dead for a while, and they assumed that the cause of death was heart failure, like his father. It was later reported that Henry had bruises to his head, and the coroner later listed his cause of death officially to be asphyxiation. The police accepted the theory that this was an accident. I don't know why. Yeah.
Okay, that's a choice.
Mm-hmm. So Ed and Augusta were by themselves now. Augusta ended up having a stroke shortly after Henry died and had a second stroke in 1945. Her health rapidly declined after this, and she passed away at age 67. Ed was absolutely devastated by her death. He shut himself away and for the following years blocked off the areas of his home that his mother most frequently visited and preserved them almost to be like a shrine. Yeah. So we're going to do a little time jump. Not a big one, just a little one. November 15th, 1957, Ed visited a local hardware store that was owned by Bernice Warden, who was 58 years old. Ed had told her that he would return the next day for a gallon of antifreeze. There weren't many customers this time of year, so it was easy to track who was in the store and who wasn't. On November 16th, 1957, around 9:30 in the morning, the store's truck was seen driving from behind the building, and Bernice went missing. Her son was the deputy sheriff, and his name was Frank Warden. He found the cash register open, and there were bloodstains on the floor. Investigators found that the last receipt that Bernice wrote was for a gallon of antifreeze. That evening, Ed was arrested, and the sheriff's department searched the farm. They found Bernice's body. She had been decapitated and was hung upside down by her legs, and her wrists were tied in ropes. She was, quote, dressed out like a deer, end quote. Yeah.
Dressed up. Hang on.
After hunters shoot the deer, how they clean them.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I was...
Not great.
No, but we do not go up from here.
Mm-mm. So she had been shot, and all the mutilations occurred post-mortem. So at least there's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So authorities then decided to go into his house and search to see what else he has.
Issues. He has issues.
They found some horrific things. Human bones, some whole, some fragmented. Human organs in the fridge. A heart in a pan on the stove.
Why?
Presumably to eat.
I know. The why was for the universe.
Yeah. A basket made from human skull. Skin-covered chairs.
The what in the Nazi?
Skulls on his bedposts. A corset made from a skinned female torso. Leggings made of human skin. Masks made from the skin of female heads. And Mary Hodgins' face mask, and then her skull, which we'll talk about Mary in a little bit. 4 noses. A pair of lips on the drawstrings of a window shade. A lampshade made from human skin.
That's a Nazi thing.
A belt made from nipples.
Why?
And fingernails.
The hell?
Mm-hmm. Everything found on the property had been photographed and then disposed of at the state crime laboratory. They estimated that he had mutilated 15 women. Yeah. When Ed was questioned about what was in his house, he told investigators between 1947, basically when his mom died, and 1952, he had gone around 40 times to local graves and exhumed recent buried bodies while he was in a dazed state. About 30 of those 40 times visiting the graveyards, he came out of the daze at the cemetery and left the graveyard empty-handed. On the other occasions, he would dig up recently buried middle-aged women that resembled his mother. He would take their bodies home and would tan their skin. He confessed to stealing from 9 graves and brought investigators to the locations. Investigators exhumed 3 of the graves that Ed had identified as tests because some investigators didn't believe that Ed could single-handedly dig up graves at night.
Well, wasn't he a pretty large dude?
I wouldn't say large.
I gotta look. I thought he was
he's
guy.
Not like big, like outward. He's not big. But he's a farmer.
Okay, farm strength is something.
So he's probably strong, but...
Yeah, no, he doesn't look like... I'm thinking... Oh, I'm thinking of a California.
Oh, gotcha.
Guy active around relatively the same time.
Mm-hmm. So they were found as Ed had told them they would be. One was empty. Another was mostly empty. It contained a few bones and Ed's crowbar. And the third, most of the body was missing. So like I said before, this all began shortly after his mother died. He did also, it was stated that he did dig up his own mother and created a suit so he could become his mother by literally crawling in her skin. Yep. But her skin, as well as other women's skin, would harden and crack, and he decided that he needed something more fresh and pliable. In 1954, Ed shot Mary Hodgin because she resembled his mother in size. He brought her to his farm, and no one knew. 3 years later, he did that again with Bernice. All right, so this is the little tidbit about the cannibalism, that we haven't already covered. And this is presumed cannibalism. We don't know 100%, but it is presumed. Neighbors had come forward and recalled that Ed would generously bring them fresh venison, but they never saw him actually go deer hunting. And again, this has not been confirmed, but it is presumed. Yeah. How you doing over there, Connie?
Character is developing, I'll tell you that. There was a viral little song someone singing, like, you can't eat at everybody's house. Uh,
And that was either the skin suit or this was gonna get you, and I wasn't sure which one.
honestly, everything. It's just been one after the next. The nipple belt got me. I didn't know about. The lamp and the skulls and the other stuff. I knew about that kind of thing because, again, Nazis literally did that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to make it better, but like I was already kind of like
You were preparing yourself for that.
I
told you it was bad.
There needs to be a different adjective than bad. Bad was like our Angie Samoda, the Sauter family. This is
Another level in its own.
depravity. Oh my God. Just thinking from the point of view that I am in my life right now,
Mm-hmm.
imagine having to be or being on the prosecution or the defense team. Imagine being the defense team.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like looking at all this evidence and ooh, not a situation I envy.
Nope.
That's oof.
Speaking of, you ready to go into the trial?
Let's let's put that house and burn it down.
Funny you say that.
Oh wait, really?
So the trial started on November 21st, 1957 for first-degree murder, and he pled not guilty by reason of insanity. Now, Ed had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and they also found that he was mentally incompetent and saw as being unfit for trial.
Yeah, I can see that.
He was sent to Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, which was a maximum security facility, and then was transferred to Mendota State Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin. In 1968, doctors had determined that Ed was now mentally able to participate in his defense and was mentally able to confer with counsel. The trial started on November 7th, 1968, and was a week long. During the trial, a psychiatrist testified that Ed told him he didn't know if the killing of Bernice was intentional or accidental. Ed told him that he also remembered examining the gun that was at Bernice's store, which ended up being the weapon used to kill her. But he stated that he didn't aim it at her and didn't recall anything else. The defense requested that this trial be done without a jury. Ed was found guilty by Judge Robert H. Gollmar, Gollmar, on November 14th. A second trial had been done to look at Ed's sanity. Gollmar ruled that Ed be not guilty by reason of insanity and ordered him to be committed to a hospital for the criminally insane. Judge Gollmar also wrote that, quote, due to prohibitive costs, Ed was tried for only one murder, that of Miss Warden. He also admitted to killing Mary Hodgen. End quote.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So what happened to the house?
I didn't know anything about the house. I was just metaphorically saying let's close that, burn it down, but okay.
His property was appraised for $4,700, which is equivalent to roughly $42,600 today. The things left were scheduled to be put up for auction on March 30th, 58. Again, all the remains had been collected and already they're gone.
I was like,
they're
are
gone.
we talking the couch? What are we talking?
I think we're talking like furniture and clothing and whatever trinkets are in the not. I have to specify trinkets.
I'd love to not think that way, but I am still sitting here trying to process the fact that people get Ted Bundy bite mark tattoos knowing the history behind it. So, like, you never know.
Yeah. So things were scheduled to be put up for auction on March 30th, 1958, but on March 20th, the house had been destroyed by a fire. Arson was suspected, but the case was never officially determined to be arson or not.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I'm sure the community had feelings about the place.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
I would, I would not want to buy that house.
No.
I
No.
wouldn't even want to own that land.
No.
No. No.
Apparently, Ed's Ford sedan was one of the things that was untouched by the fire and was put up for auction. And it was sold for $760, which is equivalent to about $6,800 today. And so the Ford was what he used to move his victims. And the person who bought it was a carnival sideshow operator and would charge people 25 cents to go and see it.
Okay, that tracks. That I was
Yep.
wondering. I'm like, who bought this?
Someone who can make some money off of it. Take a long time to reimburse yourself, but I'm sure eventually it would pay off because there's probably a lot of people that wanted to pay a quarter to go see it.
I'd pay somebody a quarter to keep it away from me.
I'd pay someone a lot more money than a quarter to keep it away from me.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Oh, thank you.
Like, no, I don't want to be near anything. Why? Why? Why am I asking why people do things? Because,
People are intrigued, want to see things for themselves.
yeah.
Or listen to messed up stories like you all are right now.
Yeah, I can't judge. Just kidding. I'm sitting here like, oh, stories versus visiting, very, very different.
Yeah, I don't intend to visit many places we talked about.
No.
Maybe the Glensheen Mansion, because I've been told during Christmas time it's really pretty.
Yeah, and the hotel, the Stanley Hotel.
Stanley Hotel.
There we go.
Maybe you want to go to the haunted hotel?
Maybe with holy water and a rosary and a prayer. Many prayers and a Bible, multiple Bibles. I will make an outfit out of Bibles. It will be a.
I think you've said that before.
Bible. I stand by it. I'm not. Humans are scary, but at least you can kind of ward off a human with a punch or threat or something. Right. What can you do with a ghost? Make it mad.
Make it mad, and then good luck.
Exactly. Hence, I can make an actual Bible belt. Huh. Oh, never mind.
I was going to say.
I was real happy about the geographical pun.
Yep.
Not so happy anymore.
Nope. It took your brain a second. It was real quick because I was going to say something too.
I think I blocked the first half of this episode in my coping mechanisms.
That's okay.
It's locked up now in a nice little box that won't be opened except for probably on a trivia night of some sort. And then people will be like, why do you know that? I'll be like, have you heard of Chaos Chronicles? Like, follow, and subscribe.
Mm-hmm. Because we're getting traumatized for you, Internet.
Yeah, this is not exactly the things that we do in our free time.
Well, it is now.
It is. My search history, your search history, both of our search histories, concerning to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Probably on a list somewhere. I'm probably on a list somewhere.
Both. You're also researching medical stuff and I research legal stuff. That's not great. Then our IPs are in the same location. Wow, this looks real concerning. Mm-hmm. We're not bad people. We're not going to do anything.
Just doesn't look great from the outside.
The optics are not ideal.
No.
It's fine. It could be worse.
Could be.
We could be creating a case file and we're not, and we never will because no. No. We need a psych, like professional expert, maybe a psychic, but like an expert to sit on the podcast and we can just like pull them to the side real quick and be like, hey, I have an answer about why I think this is happening. Can you tell me your reason? Because yours can be set on camera. My reasoning probably can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. So, Ed died on July 26, 1984, in Mendota Mental Health Institute from lung cancer. He was 77 years old. He was buried between his brother and parents in Plainfield Cemetery, and his grave site is now unmarked because people would come and chip pieces from the stone. And in 2000, it was actually stolen. Yeah. It showed up in 2001 in Seattle, and it was brought back to the Waushara, Waushara Sheriff's Department. Yeah. So now talking about pop culture.
Oh, it has permeated what? Permeated pop culture. Say that 5 times fast.
It has. He has inspired many, many novels, many, many movies, many, many TV shows.
Many episodes of TV shows, Criminal Minds.
He's inspired a lot.
Yeah, hopefully not copycats.
So, some of the examples that I found were Psycho, both the movie and the book. I guess it's a book too. Deranged, In the Light of the Moon, Ed Gein the musical.
The what?
Why do these people... They did it with Glensheen Mansion too. Why do we need to make a musical out of... Ooh. I don't know.
They couldn't be happy with Sweeney Todd. Theater kids, really? You had to... Why? Oh, Sweeney Todd. God dang it.
Continuing, House of a Thousand Corpses, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is where I first learned about him, because that was actually the first ever horror movie I watched.
What an introduction.
Yep. Silence of the Lambs, The American Horror Story, and they did a season that was inspired by him.
Of course.
And soon to be season 3 of Netflix series Monster, and Ed will be played by, you might know his name, Charlie Hunnam, Hunnam.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is this who I think it is? Hold on. What is it called? Monster, Netflix, season 3?
Season 3.
No, I love Charlie Hunnam. Oh, no, I don't want to see him that way.
Well, he's about to be Ed Gein.
I mean...
I can kind of... He is really good looking, but I can see, like, hair and makeup doing really well.
Yeah. See, I was introduced to him in Sons of Anarchy. I'm still upset about how the last several seasons of that went. I did not watch the last season. Don't come for me, folks. But, like, I loved him as Jax Teller. I was like, great. And then he played King Arthur in one of the, I don't know, Sword in the Stone movies in the last couple years. And, like, normally the stuff he's in, I'm like, you do a really good job. No.
Gonna ruin him.
Don't ruin him like that.
Yeah. So, that's gonna be coming out. I don't know when, but my sources...
I will not watch.
Actually, Mitch told me when it was released, the season 3 and what it was going to be. He's like, "Hey, I have a podcast episode idea for you."
Oh,
because he's like, it's relevant and recent, and people will want to know more about Ed Gein. So here we are. He's been on the list for a while. I think I've had him on my list since October, maybe even earlier.
No, I know you had mentioned him because we had mentioned just a handful of ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
something.
Yeah.
Real quick to throw this in here, my sources were Crime Library, Britannica, and Wikipedia.
There we go.
That was fact checked.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If you're going to use Wikipedia, it's a great starting point to get links and get you further places. Always double check that all the stuff is correct and actually follow through with the links.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but other than that...
Anything else on Ed Gein? That's all I got.
It was enough. Trust me, it was enough.
Let us know in the comments if you plan on watching season 3 of Monsters.
Yes. I'm sure Charlie... I don't know how to say it either, actually. Hunam?
Yeah. Hunam.
I'm sure he's going to do a great job. I just don't care to watch it. Granted, my consumption of true crime media outside of this podcast has been pretty minimal.
Mine has gone down dramatically.
I don't even watch Criminal Minds that often anymore.
Mm-mm.
I should rewatch it now because there's a couple of scenes with like Aaron Hotchner and he was a prosecutor before. Now I can be like, haha, are you right? I don't know. Yeah. But I don't know. I think we definitely get overloaded, especially if you're the one putting the case file together. By the end, you're just like, I need puppies and rainbows and butterflies and happy things.
Yep. I try to knock these out while I'm at work.
That's a good idea. I have learned that I should not be doing case files at night because then I am paranoid as all get out.
Yep. I did a good chunk of this last night while Mitch was at work, and I was like, I should stop. I need to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last time I did a true crime one, because if you haven't noticed from our podcast, Jess has been carrying this while I am in school and have not been able to. Thank you. I was sitting on the couch and in the spot that you normally sit when we record, and I just kept having it in my brain that I could see my front door out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, someone's going to come in the front door. They're going to come in the front door. They're going to come in the front door. Is there any logical reason for that? No. But when it's 3 a.m. and you are way too deep into the internet rabbit hole of some psychopath,
Yep.
front doors are scary.
Windows are scary.
Wind is scary. Wind went by the house that night.
Yeah.
Then I finally called it quits. I'm like, I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm stressing my dog out because he can sense that I'm stressed. We're just going to go to bed now and try not to dream.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for a peaceful, dreamless night. On that note, sorry, I'm not the one running the episode. Any additional information?
Nope, that's all I got.
Any feedback from you? Comments, questions, concerns, other than why?
I'm sorry.
That's a valid comment.
I'm sorry. I had many a people pick this episode.
It's an episode. It is an episode.
It is. I told you it would be an episode, and I'm sorry, and I still am sorry.
You're good. You're good. You know, I appreciate that we did Dyatlov Pass before this. Not right before. We recorded that
A long time ago. Almost a year ago.
almost a year ago. But like, I've been able to put up some decent blocks during filming. Not all of the blocks that I need, but at least decent amounts. So like, I feel like that one traumatized my stomach a bit more. This one really tried / kind of
It tried, yeah. I tried to not go in too much detail for you, but
I appreciate it. Yeah, even the surface level detail is.
ooh.
I don't even. How do you? I got questions. I would love to talk to that judge who presided over his trial. Just sit there and I almost was going to say pick his brain, but in context, I don't think I want to say that. But just like ask him, be like, tell me about this.
Yeah.
Like, how do you handle this? I don't know. Well, I don't think we're going to have too many answers, but
Nope.
that's fine. We don't usually leave our Wednesday episode with the answers.
Not generally.
No.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you either on Saturday for our next Breaking Dawn episode or next week for who knows what.
Yes, that's right. And if you need something to scrub your brain, our Eclipse movie reaction just came out last Saturday. Came out within the last 12 days for you guys, 12 to 14-ish. So you should go check it out. It's a YouTube exclusive. Jess has it on the Eclipse YouTube playlist. Yeah, there you go. Scrub your brain of this with that.
Yeah.
Until
next time.
Adios.
Bye.
I'm red flagging on us. Actually, yeah. Why did we do a podcast about true crime? Because the internet wanted it. Red flag on the internet.
Yeah. Not what we wanted. Definitely not what the podcast was intended for.
No.